Hello, we, the Mississippi Soil staff, are excited to participate in the 2021 National Cooperative Soil Survey Conference hosted virtually in Auburn, Alabama. We have many important activities ongoing in the state, but chose to share ecological site data collection efforts, the objectives, the purpose, the progress, the field protocol, and plan outcomes for ecological site descriptions. Ecological site descriptions is a powerful planning tool for many types of land users. The data collection took on a multidisciplinary approach. With that, we needed key quality assurance and quality control personnel, which are listed below. Also, it's a contractual effort with the Soil and Water Conservation Commission under the leadership of Mr. Kurt Reeder, State Conservationist. It is desired to collect ecological site descriptions for the entire state within a reasonable time. Understanding we had limited staff and personnel available to conduct this data gathering, we thought to the private sector, thereby entering into an agreement with the Mississippi Soil and Water Conservation Commission. Thus, the commission which contract with engineering and environmental consulting vendors to collect the data needed to populate provisional ecological site description data sets. With that opening presentation, I pass on to the next presenter. Thanks.
You've likely heard other presentations that do a good job of describing ecological sites in their descriptions, but we always like to cover it to make sure everyone's on the same page. The basics of the definition is a conceptual division of the landscape with similar characteristics: soils, geomorphology, climate, similar productivity, and the ability to respond to disturbance and management, fire, herbivory, whether it's wildlife or domestic animals, drought, or other. These are things that can help the conservation planner make recommendations and know what areas should respond similarly. Now we know what an ecological site is. What are ecological site descriptions, ESDs? They are simply documents to provide information on similar landscapes. All of the information is included in one document that can be accessed by those that need it. An important thing to mention is that these are evolving documents, and as new information is provided, they can be updated and corrected. The technical team reviewed the soils information and developed draft site concepts. These meetings are a discussion used to get everyone on the same page and providing information. The contractors provided input based on their field observations across the landscape. The team and contractors field tested the concepts by visiting some locations and discussing where and how to refine the data collection to better capture the modal concepts of the sites.
For tech teams and tech team meetings to function efficiently, information that is logical and relevant must be provided for review and consideration. As an initial step, we chose to establish a soil sorting exercise that focused on a geographic subsection of an MLRA. The predefined geographic area typically centered on portions of one or more soil survey office areas. This narrower focus helped to minimize potential confounding factors such as regional climate gradients and broad vegetation differences. Utilizing and leaning on the knowledge of soil scientists, a suite of important soil properties are identified at the outset of all soil sorting exercises. Soil series or soil map unit components are then grouped based on their similarity among the suite of selected soil properties. Important soil properties utilized during soil grouping exercises often include but are not limited to those listed on the slide. The culmination of the tech team's knowledge, skills, and experiences yields the first major step toward the development of an ecological site legend for an MLRA or a geographic subsection of an MLRA. The soil groupings. This is an illustration of the soil groups that were developed for the geographic focal area shown 2 slides earlier, which is a portion or subsection of MLRA 133C, the Gulf Coastal Plain. Once the tech team concurs and approves of the soil groups, they become the predecessor to a provisional ecological site legend. The soils, coupled with the composition and productivity of the natural vegetation and their response to management and disturbance, all form the concepts of the ecological site. Provisional sites are all comprised of these essential elements, but oftentimes they are generated rapidly with limited observations from the field. Most provisionals are developed by gathering and extracting information from published and unpublished literature and reports and existing survey information and/or raw data, if available. Essentially, provisional ecological sites provide a roadmap for subsequent ecological investigation. Following the adoption of the provisional ecological site structure, natural vegetation characteristics must be obtained for each provisional site. In addition to literature and former work, the collection of field data is imperative, and this includes rapid reconnaissance observations and moderate to high-intensity vegetation surveys. Information collected from the field becomes the basis from which the original soil group and its successor, the provisional ecological site, takes on the characteristics of a well-defined ecological site. This is accomplished through the development and refinement of site concepts and the interpretation and characterization of the vegetation dynamics of the ecological site. Data collected in the field must be representative of the site's concepts, and the type of information collected must be informative so that interpretations and characterizations of the plant community can be developed. In all situations, composition of the plant community must be documented along with a measure of abundance, particularly for the dominant, codominant, and commonly occurring species. Above all, the soils at every data collection locality must be examined and the soil map unit component for that location confirmed.
The purpose of the soil component verification is to verify the correct location, soil series, soil mapping unit component, taxonomic classification of the site, landscape, landform position, and other soil characteristics that would have a direct impact on vegetative communities. In these plots, there were discrepancies in the soil mapping units and the soil series that were described and discovered. These types of verifications are vital to establishing correct correlations to the soil type and vegetative communities. Soil description forms are used to capture site information that is pertinent to ecological site descriptions. Collectively, all soil properties and characteristics will be correlated to vegetative species and ecological sites. Essentially, the establishment of ESDs assists project leaders with the quality control of current mapping and assists soil survey offices with MLRA projects designed to update mapping where discrepancies are found.
In Mississippi, contractors have completed 272 field ESD sampling plots. This field data collection effort started in the southern portion of 133C and continues northward. In addition to field data collection, the contractor is assembling their knowledge and existing data resources to synthesize draft ecological site descriptions. One of the most important roles of the contractor is to combine and/or split site conceptual units. Most of the time, these breaks are based on soil survey components. However, some climatic ecological breaks like longleaf pine transitioning to shortleaf pine may require ecological splits based on field observations and scientific literature documentation. I would like to discuss Mississippi's ESD status in descending order, with 134 being the most complete, having developed PESs throughout. Some have been correlated and published. 131A has all the descriptions developed and routed to the tech team for review. Some portions are being scientifically reviewed and English edited within the Soil and Plant Science Division. 133C has all site concepts modeled and approved by the tech team. We're in the process of testing conceptual groupings with an intent to develop descriptions. 135A has site concepts completed with intent to develop descriptions. 152A and 151 have soil sorts completed and site concepts are currently being developed.